Hi, I'm Mrs. Hartley, one of the counselors here in the counseling office, and I will be leading you through class of 2028 sophomore year scheduling. I am Mrs. Hartley, so I have students with the last name G through M. Mrs. Leiden has students with the last name A through F, and Ms. Richter has last name N through Z. A couple important links that you will use over and over again. The course selection guide has everything you need to answer a lot of your questions about graduation requirements, honors diploma, course description. So if there's a course you're not sure what it entails, you can find all of that information here. This is honors diploma requirements, and we can talk in more detail as you go through junior and senior year also, but the biggest things to notice is that you need an extra social studies and an extra science past what you need for graduation. So those, you want to make sure you get those if you are looking for the honors diploma. Always good to mention to your counselor when you meet with them in March that you're interested in that, so we can make sure you're on the right track. Schedule policy reminder. We have been a lot more strict in the last couple years, and we will continue with the schedule policy where you can only make changes at the beginning of the school year, and by the time the first day of school starts, your schedule should be finalized and no more dropping or adding. So we want to make sure you put a lot of thought into this scheduling process so you have the things that you want. A couple of tools that we want to have at your disposal is the planning worksheet. The planning worksheet is for you. You don't have to give it to us, but it will help you organize what you need and what the course code is, and so when you're ready to do the online course entry, you'll have that all right there for you. Selections are going to be entered online by February 20th, and we'll talk more about that as we go along. Another important document is the course selection worksheet. Course selection worksheet has every class that is offered to you broken down by department. It also tells you how many semesters it is, whether it's a year-long or a semester course. All selections again will be entered by February 20th, and this is just a document that could help you more easily be able to handle that process when it comes, because you'll have it all mapped out in this way for that. Required courses for 10th grade, you need to choose in English 10. It can be either CP or honors. Choose an American history, AP or CP. Choose either physical science or CP or honors chemistry. Math, you all could be in kind of a different place, so if you click on this flowchart, all of these things will be available to you on the website so that you can access this and access all the links. But the math flowchart can help you, depending on where you are in the math courses, help you know what comes next. So some of you might be taking geometry, Algebra 2, Advanced Quantitative Reasoning, Probability and Statistics, or Pre-Calc, depending on what your last course was, the course that you're taking currently. And that flowchart can help you figure out what comes next, as well as your math teacher. When choosing your different levels, whether we're doing CP, honors, or AP, remember there's a couple of things to take into account. You want to figure out, look at how you're doing now in that class, in that class subject. You want to give yourself a challenge, but you also want to balance that with all of the other things that you're doing. So you have to take all of those things into account when you're deciding on CP, honors, or AP. Also, your teachers will be extremely helpful with this step also. AP level courses, if you haven't taken an AP, are college level courses that prepare you for an exam at the end of the school year in May. And you could potentially earn college credit when you go off to college as a college freshman. And when you are looking at whether or not you should take an AP course, prepare for an increased workload. And remember, just because you have the capability to take every AP class doesn't mean you should, and you have to balance the other things that have in your life. So you want to choose AP courses where you enjoy those areas and you excel the most at them. A couple of important dates. January 24th, Mrs. Emmons will release the AP presentation, and it'll give in much more detail what I just said about the differences between AP courses and what you can kind of expect from those courses. February 13th is a conference day, and if you have been recommended for the seminar tract, AP seminar, there's an informational meeting for you and your parents in B14, 5 to 5:30. And then if you're thinking not AP courses, but actual go on campus or be a member of an actual college course, CCP info meeting is in the auditorium at 5:45. The difference between CCP and AP is that CCP is an actual college course. AP is preparing you for a test that is college level. So a little bit different. And if you have questions about that, you can ask your counselor when you see them, and the several different opportunities to talk to them. Other required courses, health needs to be done. I think most of you probably have health at this point, but you need to either have done it this year or from middle school or from junior high. Summer school is online, and during the school year, if you do still need to take it during the school year, you'll take it in the NGC. So even if you're a sophomore, so keep in mind that that has to fit somewhere in your schedule. You need 2 semesters of PE before you graduate, so you can do that a couple of different ways. You can do 2 seasons of a sport, then you would get a waiver. You could do 1 PE class and 1 season of a sport. That would also be eligible for the waiver. You could do 2 years of ROTC class, and that would also give you a PE waiver instead of taking the classes. You also can take 2 semesters of Lifetime Fitness and complete your PE requirement. PE can also be taken in summer school for a quarter credit. So if you were planning to get your PE fully this way, you would need to have 2 summers. And in the spring, the stuff about summer school will come out, and that opportunity will be available to you. It is in person, not online, for the summer school. As a sophomore, you get a lot more choices than you did as a freshman. It opens up a little bit more each year. The elective courses, there's a lot to choose from. World language, fine arts, core subject electives, so that would be things in the English department, in the social studies, science, those extra courses that and this gives you an opportunity to kind of explore interests instead of just being in the classes that we pick for you. Alternate classes are very important. A lot of times kids will just put anything in there to fill the space because the program does make you online put the alternates, but they really don't want those alternates. It happens a lot that your first choice of electives, not a lot, but enough that your first choice of elective might not fit, might be full, one reason or another, and we have to use your alternates. So please make sure that when you choose those, they are ones that you would be okay with if you got put into them. Lots of important dates, and these are all opportunities for you to ask questions and have your questions answered and talk with other people in the classes and talk with your counselors and your parents. February 5th and 6th, you will get to go to the scheduling fair. So if you're unsure about what the different electives are, you will see them. Everybody will kind of have a table and you can walk around and see the different options and ask questions. So if you're team 1 or 2, that'll be February 5th during Activate and Homeroom. If you're teams 3 and 4, that will be February 6th. The February 11th is the scheduling flex. So it will show you how to online schedule, and that's when online scheduling will open. So it'll show you how to access the system, how to put in your requests, and so on and so forth. But if you're wanting to get some more answers before you put it into the system, February 13th and February 19th are options for you to ask questions as well as your parents. February 13th is the parent-teacher conference, and that first conference will be a scheduling fair where you and your family could drop in the media center Counselors will be there, as well as department chairs from each of the departments, and so your teachers, a few of your teachers will be there to answer questions about different departments. Also within that February 13th conference day is the CCP meeting at 5:45 in the auditorium. So if you're really interested in maybe doing that and have questions, you and your parents can come to that session. And then if you are on the AP seminar track and want to know more, B14 at 5 o'clock on February 13th, you and your family can attend there. If you want a more individualized experience with you and your parents, February 19th, you can sign up for an individual conference with any of your teachers, and counselors will be available. And then February 20th will be an extended homeroom activate, and that's when the online schedules are due. So your homeroom activate, your homeroom teacher will be sure that you and help you double check that your options are in. So February 20th, remember that is the date. Now, if you enter your choices and you feel like you really wish you could just run them past the counselor, that option will be there at the beginning of March. So March 3rd to the 14th, your counselor will meet with you individually from your English class, and you can double check and ask any questions you have at that time also. So lots of opportunity for us to check and double check before everything is finalized. If a teacher makes a recommendation that you and your family disagree with and you decide to go against that recommendation, the appeal waivers are linked here, and that would be due to the counseling office by February 24th, if that situation applies to you. Again, these are just planning tools. The course selection worksheet will help you. The course planning worksheet are linked here, just different ways to look at the courses and pick the ones that fit best for you. We want to make a reminder again about the schedule policy. So take seriously this process and ask questions and make sure that schedule looks exactly like what you want. Because once the school year starts next year, we will not make changes. This is just a reminder, if you want to reach out to your counselor, their name and email is listed there. Feel free to give them shoot them an email. And remember that at the beginning of March, we will meet with each of you. And you'll get to have a little bit of one-on-one question time. Thanks for listening to me. Hopefully I've answered some of your questions. Lots of stuff linked to this presentation that you can find on the counseling website, which is a good source of information. Hope to see you and your families at one of the conference nights, or get an email from you if you have questions. Thanks.